Hey folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Saurabh Paul. Welcome to Paul Ke Bol. Today I'm going to talk about changes in the way India is getting married, right? Especially urban India. There is this report by Jeevansathi.com, which basically talks about like how things are changing decade by decade, especially when it comes to young people deciding to get married. When do they want to get married? What are the things that they're looking for? What are the things that they're trying to avoid, and so on and so forth, right? I think it's very important because marriage is a big deal in India, and so are weddings, but marriages are even more of a big deal. You ask any young person, like one of the top three things that they're always worried about is getting married, right? Whether they want to or not, unfortunately. So, this is that Jeevan Sathi report, like link in the description. Check it out. And I think let's begin, right? Like, number one is the age shift. Like, the age of median age of people getting married has gone from 27 to 29, right? Like this is from like 2016 was the last time, the baseline, and this time they did it in 2025, so it's 2026. They just released it like a couple of months later. So this is understandable, right? Ki pehle matlab people were like, "Arey jaldi shadi karo," and I have seen it myself, right? In my own friend circle, I can attest to it that most people are getting married late, right? Like now there was a time कि अगर 30 के बाद शादी हो गया तो भाई तुम बर्बाद हो, it is horrible, it's a stain on you, कोई शादी नहीं करेगा तुमसे, this and that. लड़कियों के लिए तो और भी stressful था, right? But increasingly I've been seeing this in my circle that most people are getting married after the age of 28. Like I myself got married at the age of 28 and a half, right? So मैं 28 की शादी में मैंने शादी किया. My cousin got married recently. He was like 34 or something, and none of us were concerned, right? Like, हाँ, उसका life है, उसको जीने दो. So that societal pressure has gone down. That when do you want to get married? Okay, so which is a very good thing. And even for women, there were so many friends of mine because like when I went to MBA college, like I was one of the youngest ones, right? So what happens is कि आपके जो दोस्त होते हैं उनका उम्र थोड़ा ज़्यादा होता है आपसे, लड़का लड़की दोनों, right? So they are 4 years elder to you, 6 years, some of them are elder to you. So you see them doing things, like far ahead of you, like before you, right? Like कि अरे इतना जल्दी कैसे हो गया, मैं तो अभी सिर्फ 23-24 का हूँ. How are these people taking these life decisions so quickly? You realize it purely because it's like, hey, they have reached that age. But even girls, if you see today, they're getting married at 31, they're getting married at 29. There are no issues at all. No issues at all. Like even parents, like girls ka parents are also, at least in urban India, right? They are not that stressed out. They are like, कोई बात नहीं, मिल जाएगा, कोई बात नहीं, मिल जाएगा. And they are even like, okay, if my daughter is 31 and my potential son-in-law is 30, we are okay with it. That is not a big deal. But उससे ज़्यादा push मत करो because you want to have babies. There is a biological clock and so on and so forth, right? Like वो तो होता ही Indian parents का. If उनका बस चले तो 24 में शादी करा दे. But उनका बस नहीं चल रहा है. So which is another point, right? Like Indian parents are losing their grip on urban Indian kids, and I think it's a very, very good thing. I'm not saying Indian parents have no right in the decision making of the child. They have a stake. I don't say, in fact, some of them, even most of them, have a veto power, but I don't think they should be having a controlling stake. Right? They should have an influence stake, not a control stake, if you get what I mean, right? I don't think it's good for society that old people keep making decisions for young ones. So that's the whole thing, right? And most people, they start searching for a partner at the age of 28, 29 nowadays, according to that Jeevansathi survey that has happened, which is incredible. Why? It's because, see, many of us are like, यार जब तक मेरे पास पैसा नहीं होगा, बैंक बैलेंस नहीं होगा, जब तक आई एम नॉट श्योर एंड स्टेबल अबाउट माई जॉब, जब तक आई डोंट हैव अ गुड decent place to live in, right? Even on rent, at least it should be a decent place, decent locality. I should have at least one vehicle, if not a car, then at least a good bike or something of that sort, right? And enough money that I can go out for vacations and enjoy a certain lifestyle. Because even if you have a good enough, financial ability by the age of 25 or 26 for that matter, you are worried that if another person comes in, you can't predict what is their lifestyle, right? And arranged marriage mein to you definitely cannot. Like even love marriage you can still kind of predict, but arranged marriage mein zero idea. Like okay, you have to take them at their word. So it's a gamble at the end of the day, but an educated one is the best gamble, right? So that is why most people are like waiting. पहले क्या होता था, हाँ चलो चलो शादी कर दो, मम्मी पापा लगा रहे, देखा जाएगा, जो होगा देखा जाएगा, एडजस्ट कर लेना. See, that is one thing our generation doesn't do, and like I frankly, it's a good thing we don't do. Is that, and Gen Z also, is that like फालतू एडजस्ट नहीं करना है. सेंसिबल एडजस्टमेंट है, कॉम्प्रोमाइज है, फॉर श्योर. फालतू एडजस्ट नहीं करेंगे हम. That is the most important thing, right? I think that's incredibly important, right? There are many people, by the way, there is a rise of second marriages. Moving on to the next point, a very important one. Like 11% of the people in 2016 were seeking remarriage, like 1 out of 10. Now it's 16% are seeking remarriage. So that is like 1 out of 6. So that's like a big change. There's a 43% increase. So 1 in 6 success stories is a second marriage is what they're looking at, right? So there are people, so divorce होता है, पहले divorce नहीं होता था, अभी होता है. क्यों होता है अभी? क्योंकि allowed है करने को. पहले अगर अलाउड होता, सोसाइटी अलाउ करती हमारा डिवोर्स, तो लोग आराम से कर लेते. बात सही है. दैट्स द रियलिटी, राइट? लेट्स नॉट प्रिटेंड देयर हैज बीन अ ब्रेकडाउन ऑफ मॉरल वैल्यूज. दैट्स जस्ट नॉनसेंस doomerism and alarmism by conservative part sections of the society and old people, essentially, which we shouldn't give a damn about, honestly. I do not want any female, especially anyone who is either related to me or my friend, to be involved or stuck in a bad marriage. As simple as that. There is nothing worse than that, right? Same with my guy friends, right? Like, भाई नहीं हो रहा है तो मतलब, because it gets very tough, yeah. India mein especially, like, it's a very tough situation. If I mean, it's very very bad. And I did say this, like, even right now society is not that ready कि, oh, if someone's a divorcee, I mean, our generation ka people are like, हाँ ठीक है, होता है, we can understand. The older generations definitely not. They are not up for it. As simple as that, right? So that's the thing. Now they also, moving on to the next one, if you look at, like, what are the things that people are looking at, right, when they're trying to get married? So Jeevansathi was like 90% people care more about the right person than age or income, which is obviously, it makes sense, right? Because अगर आपका सब कुछ सही है, बट मतलब ऑन पेपर पैसा सही है, ये सही है, बैकग्राउंड सही है, everything is shiny and flashy and nice, but if he or she is not the right person for you, the wheels come off in less than 2 years. Yeah, less than 2 years the wheels come off. नहीं होता, जमता ही नहीं, 18 महीने में खत्म हो जाता है. I have seen it, and it is like, it is a proven statistic also at this point of time. Most divorces happen under 2 years, right? So it's one good thing I'm seeing is people are now looking at the person. They're like, okay, बाकी चीज़ें रहेंगे, but how to judge a person, that's a different story altogether. I've made some videos on it. I will be making more. But the reality is that you have to, look at the person, and it's a good thing. Most people are like looking at the person rather than age or income, for that matter. Only 54% consider caste is a must. Now you're like, oh my god, 54% is still quite a bit, right? 1 out of 2 people care about caste, and they want it to be a people of their own caste and everything. But it is down from 91% from 2015. So I see this is one thing about urban India, right? Caste is prevalent, but it is not that prevalent. I do not think so. Like, I married in my own caste, right? In fact, I married in my own subcaste, right? Because मेरा arranged marriage था. But when I went out looking, I was like, कुछ भी चलेगा, right? कुछ भी चलेगा मेरे को. And as I said, like, for me also, it was like the person matters, because तुम्हारा caste, religion, कुछ भी हो, गलत आदमी मिल गया, गलत औरत मिल गई ना, वाट लगेगी लाइफ की, मतलब देख लो. It is just very bad, right? So I would say this just shows, right? Like, and I'll tell you what, ये जो 54% भी जो बोल रहे हैं, who are like कि हाँ caste is important, उनको एक option दे दो that your parents have no decision making power. Is caste still a must have for you? वो नंबर है ना 15-20% पे आ जाएगा, उससे भी कम है, बहुत ज़्यादा बोल रहा हूँ. Most people in urban India at least don't give a shit about this. Okay, it's just but you know that your parents might create an issue, so that is why you're like, yaar, itna bhi hum nahi kar sakte. Let our parents have what they want, or at least let's not create a mad scene out of it. That is the only thing, and that generation won't be, making decisions for long. Let me just put it that way. In metros especially, right? Like, they are like only 49% say, so less than half of the people are like, okay, caste is not a major deal. But it could also be interpreted as, hey, now people are even more concerned about surveys, and they are like, yeah, I don't want to tell people the truth. You can say this also, by the way. Ki, I you could be like, hypothetically speaking, it's like, oh, I care about caste in a marriage, but मैं नहीं चाहता कि लोगों को ऐसा लगे कि this regressive thinking is something which I harbor, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lie on the survey. It's possible, right? Like, so you can look at it positively, or you can look at it negatively, right? So learn how to read, data. I think it's very important. Data interpretation is extremely important, right? So it helps with your analysis. The next thing is who's managing the profile? So I've always said this कि I absolutely hate it when the parents are managing the profile. I'm like, bro, तू शादी भी खुद से नहीं कर पा रहा है, या तेरे को इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, फालतू के 1000 प्रोफाइल अलग खोल के रखे तुमने इंस्टाग्राम, फेसबुक एंड लिंक्डइन के. शादी करना है तो ढंग से खुद के प्रोफाइल भी ढंग से बना लो, right? So, but other people have this thing ki, no, you can't trust any boy, people get scammed and so on and so forth. Hoga. I don't know. In urban India, I expect people to be a bit more independent than this, right? So, I mean, so the numbers are that 77% of the profiles are self-managed. Earlier, it used to be 67%. So I think that's a good number, almost 8 out of 10. So very good number. So that is fantastic. And family managed dropped to only 23%, right? Yet 69%, which is 70%, say parents' involvement helps. 100%, I agree. Parents should be involved. I will never say parents should not be involved. What the hell? Parents are very important. My parents were involved. But they did not make any crazy decision. Okay, they were not allowed to run the process. They were not allowed to roughshod the process, and they had veto power, no doubt about it. But they were there in a consultative capacity, right, and collaborative capacity. मैं बोला कि नहीं यार ये मेरा decision है. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm too independent for most people's liking, but I know so many people like that. And that's the direction in which India is going, by the way, whether you like it or not, right? So there is that. And so the next section I would go to is that only 8% believed one partner should be a sole breadwinner, right? So if you look at that, like sole breadwinner ka concept ja chuka hai, everyone knows that, and it is mainly because of inflation, frankly, and it's like impossible that you have like someone who's earning akela ya akeli and unse hi ghar chal raha hai. It's impossible. Everything is so expensive. It's impossible. Also, of course, like women have been empowered way more than before, which is a good thing. So, which is why obviously this makes sense, right? Like they are like people don't want to do that. Yeah, people want to be prepared. Ki, bro, in any condition, I should be able to survive. So makes 100% sense, right? Like there is no sole breadwinner. 87% of men were comfortable marrying higher earning women, and only 15% women are okay marrying lower earning men. So some things do not change. It is once again, if you're a man, 87%, which is 9 out of 10, let's put it that way, men were comfortable marrying higher earning women. मैं ना like अरे चलेगा तो पैसा लेके आ मेरे को चलेगा मैं भी यहाँ पे कुछ तोड़ काम नहीं कर रहा. But 15%, only 15%, right? Like which is again 1 out of 6, you could say, women were okay marrying lower earning men. So yeah, so this is one of the most important things you need to remember. Yeah? कितना भी आप कितना भी push कर लो, right? Like there is that expectation, that you as a man, you should be earning more than me. And this is across geographies, by the way, across cultures. Okay, so it is getting tougher because it is tough. That's the reality. It is tough. Something has to give away, right? I mean, I am not at all surprised, by the way, that so many men were like, "तू मुझसे ज़्यादा कमा रही है, मेरे को चलेगा, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता." Because money is at a premium at this point of time, right? Like, let's not be funny about it. Even when I was looking out, I was like, "मेरे को चलेगा." Do you have it in you to respect me, despite the fact that I earn less than you? I don't think so. If yes, fantastic, no problem at all. Like what the hell? Like I mean, I went to like one of the best MBA colleges in the country, and most of the girls like they earned more than me once the final placements were done and all. And not most of them, quite a few of them. But after a point of time, like after I messed up my career decisions a here and there a little bit, so many girls were earning more than me, right? क्या फर्क पड़ा मेरी लाइफ में? कुछ भी नहीं, because we don't look at women like, oh my god, you're a woman. Those days are gone, at least in urban India. Okay, I can't speak of other parts of the country which I still think are in the 20th and 19th century, unfortunately. But urban Indian men, I mean, I'm sorry, controversial statement, but I think we are super liberal that way. I think we are pretty liberal that way. But yeah, the women, it would be nice if, more than 15% were okay marrying less earning men, lower earning men, right? So yeah, that's the whole thing. Maybe someone in the comment section can explain why this is the case. But I don't know. But I know for a fact that this is the case even in the West, by the way. Like survey after survey, the women are like, hey, I need, I'm not comfortable being with someone who earns less than me. Maybe there must be some reason. Maybe they feel that it might not be a problem now, it may be a problem later. Maybe women feel that way. I'm trying to understand it from their perspective, right? So there is that. So anyway, this was like the Jeevansathi.com survey. So thank you so much, Jeevansathi. I think I love surveys, as I said, and it's an eye opener in a way that like, okay, this is what's been happening. People are getting married late. To conclude, people are getting married later and later, and it is no longer an issue. People are marrying again because unfortunately some marriages don't work out. so people are marrying again, and there is no stigma in it. Like, there is still stigma in it. It is reducing, and I think it is going to reduce even further 1 decade down the line. 100% has to. We need to. We definitely need to, because that is one abnormal part of our society where it's like, oh, you're a divorcee. Like, so what? Like, they're still a human being. God damn it. So that is the third one, and of course, fourth one being like, men are like completely. It's like, okay, nobody wants to be the sole breadwinner. Most people do not want to be. Men are completely fine in marrying women who earn more than them. Most of them, women less so, as per the numbers of the Jeevansathi survey. So that's the reality. And I hope this clears up a few things. I think very interesting observations. Overall, I think the only negative aspect I would say of this of these findings, and yeah, sorry, one of them was of course how important is caste for people. It has gone down from 91% to 54% and 49% in urban India, and I think it's a great improvement too, and very expected, because urban centers, you don't have time for all this nonsense, frankly. So there's that. Anyway, some things stay as they are, some things improve. We take the positives with us, we leave away the negatives. This was Polkeball on how marriage, culture of marriage is changing in India. Let me know what you think in the comment section, by the way. And please like, comment, subscribe, and see ya.